Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold. All right, so let's get into the code language conversation, chat. Code language conversation today is on vulnerable. Fitting, right, with all the different things we talked about today. So the definition of vulnerable. Vulnerable, susceptible to physical or emotional attack or harm. Similar, in need of special care, support, or protection because of age, disability, or risk of abuse or neglect. Another's bridge, liable to higher penalties, either by convention or through having won one game toward a rubber. Okay, so that's like a sports analogy. But yeah, so by definition, to be vulnerable is to be susceptible to physical or emotional attack or harm. So with the question of the day that just went by, where the woman asks, why don't men open up? It's because they don't want to leave themselves susceptible to physical or emotional attack or harm. And then the women will respond with, but you feel like I'm a safe spacer? Can you trust me with your, you can trust me with your feelings or your vulnerabilities and this, that, and the third. Well, let me ask you something in general. Let's take male and female off of it. Let's just take male and female off of it and let's just talk about it. Person B is emotionally volatile in general. Up, down, all around, just by design, they're emotionally volatile. Person A is very pragmatic and logical. Got some things that they don't share, pretty private to themselves. Person A and person B dating. Is it in person A's best interest to risk the stability that they operate inside of, to share things that will make them vulnerable with person B, who may be a safe space as long as y'all good? Should things go bad, though, how will person B act with such emotional volatility? How will they act? You want to take that risk? Shout out to Key in the building, chat 333. What's up? You want to take that risk? So when they ask, oh, why y'all don't? They're not trying to risk it. And then the probability versus possibility, that ratio is crazy. If you ask most men, do they feel comfortable sharing something with I don't care if they're married or unmarried. Ask them if they feel comfortable sharing something with their significant other that could be used against them in a negative way at a later time. Ask them if they're comfortable sharing that. Ask them if they feel like that's going to be Fort Knox to share that for life. Ask them. Just see what they say. Ask them when she ain't right there. We're going to say what we're supposed to say. She right there. Jay Zilla said men will only open up after their emotions if they can punch down with it 100% of the time. A decree, if anything. I feel sick, hungover. Thank you for asking. You never clean the sofa when you... Not a solution, but bad advice. Okay, hard to follow. So men will only open up about their emotions if they can punch down with it 100% of the time. A decree, if anything. I feel sick, hungover. Thank you for asking. You never clean the sofa. I don't get that. I don't get the second part, Jay Zilla. I don't. Not a solution, but bad advice. Yeah, I mean, I think the truth is, vulnerability, people use the term vulnerability gets weaponized oftentimes. People will say, well, the more vulnerable you can be with me, the closer I can feel to you. Fuck that, chat.
Classic.
Simply put, we you know how many people I hooped with over the years, and we got tight like brothers, and damn near still don't know each other government names to this freaking day. What are you talking about? I do not need to know your innermost darkest nothing to get close to you. That's nonsense.
Classic.
Yeah, what y'all think about that, chat? That's crazy. That shit get weaponized in the weirdest way. That's not. No, that's not. No. No. I think when you get to a certain level of experiences with human beings, you always understand the possibility of things changing. You know, things can change. Should they change, what have you equipped this person with against you? What have you equipped them with? You know? You got to be careful with crying on them shoulders. I told y'all, talk to God. I done told y'all. I tell y'all all the time, talk to God.
Classic.
Key said, define close. How close you trying to be with that person? Okay. So let's say I mean, how close can people get? Let's say it's a man and a woman, and they get into the level of being engaged and getting married. Let's say that close. Does this man need to open up to that woman and tell her his innermost darkest secrets, or some shit that he done blocked out of his memory and don't even want to think about him? Do he need to share something like that for her to feel like, oh, this could be my husband? Like, I don't get what the deep dive of inside of people's minds and emotions is. What is that about? What is that about? Fellas, are we like that? Do y'all, in order for y'all to be in love with y'all women, for the fellas that's married or the fellas that's close to it or the fellas that's in relationships, in order for y'all to feel close as hell to y'all women, do she need to tell you like something she would never tell anybody else? Is that like a prerequisite to y'all being close as hell? Let me know, chat. Give me some perspective. Because I might be off beat. Miles Bachelor said person A will calculate the risk. Then volatile person. Oh, okay. Person A will calculate the risk. The volatile person may throw caution into the wind. That's facts. Person A and person B gonna handle those situations very differently. You know what I'm saying? Person B, all they got to do is get a little turned up. They gonna let you know exactly how they was feeling when they wasn't gonna say it when they was cool. Being led of emotions is a dangerous thing. Key said, I understand that until it starts to directly affect the relationship. If you were trying to be with someone forever, some things will come up eventually. That's true. Some things, but not all, right? Like I know plenty of women for sure that they gonna take some secrets to the dirt.
Classic.
to the I'm talking about to the soil.
Classic.
For sure. And there's some men in this world too. And they got some little weird things about them, and they taking that shit to the dirt.
Classic.
So to a degree, I totally understand, but I don't think it's like a necessary thing. You know what I mean? Key said, if a person truly loves you and wants to see you grow, they will need to be able to hold you accountable. If you are trying to trace patterns back, sometimes things will come up. That's true. She said, definitely depends on how much you trust. All things I don't think is realistic, period. Yeah, for sure.
Classic.
That's what I'm saying. And I think that's cool too. I think that people are pushed. Men these days, I'm on the other side of like the male emotion campaign and shit. All this, men need to open up, and men need a safe place to do it, and men gotta, we need to give these men a place to talk and a soft place to land. Shut all that soft ass shit up. You know what I'm saying?
Classic.
Respectfully. You know what I mean? Being a man is supposed to be some rough shit to a degree. It's supposed to be some rough shit. You're supposed to have some calluses on your damn fingers. You're supposed to be done through and took a couple punches in your life. You're supposed to, it's some rough shit.
Classic.
You're supposed to be able to bear the burden. You're supposed to be able to bear the burden of all the shit. That's why pressure made for shoulders, not hips. Amen.
Classic.
All of this. Oh, men need somewhere, you know what, man. Listen, it wasn't even, this shit is not even in God's design. It's not in God's design. Outside of God, there is no safe haven for men like us. You understand what I'm saying?
Classic.
If the woman was truly designed, and I'm talking about nature now. I'm not talking about my opinion or y'all feelings or none of that. I'm talking about nature's design, the design of God. We know that estrogen is some shit that none of us could disagree with what I'm about to say. We know that estrogen makes the human being more emotionally volatile than that of testosterone. We all know that's true. It breeds some level of emotional volatility. Even if a woman is mature and knows how to emotionally regulate, she still got to do more regulating than a man because of the volatility that naturally exists there. Okay? If a woman was designed by God to be the emotional safe place of a man, she wouldn't have been created volatile. So we're supposed to, as men, talk to God.
Classic.
In the scripture, all of your prophets, when they was leading and doing the work and they needed to vent, open up, find answers, quiet, who did they talk to? God.
Classic.
Moses climbed a mountain and went to go talk to God, not his girl.
Classic.
It's like, and then the men fall for it. They go to oversharing and overly opening up and shit, and don't even realize they done turned their woman off. And then the women don't even realize what they asked for from him was gonna be a turnoff. Self-sabotage. Self-sabotage. Some shit about women, men just ain't gonna understand. So why would you beat yourself over the head trying to understand it? It ain't for you to understand. Some shit about men is just some man shit. It makes me think about Souls of Thought. Shout out to the No Middleman panel, 3-4 nights a week on Souls of Thought and Uncle Plug TV channels. Shout out to the No Middleman panel. He was just talking about how, like, the difference between, you could tell how, like, when black men are dating a black woman versus a black man that's dating a non-black woman. And one of the examples he was given was the amount of checking in, or the amount of clarification required, or the amount of explanation required when you're dealing with a black woman versus, you know, in his example, dealing with a white woman. And I was on the panel and I said, I get it. I can't disagree with you. And I gave the analogy about the fork in the road. Let's talk about it again here. The fork in the road. You as a man, brother, whatever your ethnicity is, doesn't matter. You as a man, you trekking along and you're fleeing for safety, and there's a threat behind you, and you're fleeing for safety. It's you, your woman, and your kids. You come to a fork in the road. The wife thinks y'all should go left. You think y'all should go right. A black woman gonna want you to explain. She gonna want y'all, even though the threat is behind y'all, time is of the essence. She gonna want a quick explanation as to why we should go right instead of left. Rebecca, she's going to be like, come on, kids, we're going right. And it's just true. Sisters be wanting all the extra collaboration and explanation and conversation. It's a real thing. That's one of the differences in the experience. I'm not saying whether it's better or worse. Everybody's desires, preferences, all that shit is different from person to person in regards to some of that, those little minute details. But that is a difference in the experience. The dudes I know with non-sisters as wives, they're not calling, checking in the middle of the kickback. All that checking in shit, they're not doing all that shit. They're gonna get home when they get home. No news is good news. You feel me? So that's a whole different thing. But in regards to safe spaces, vulnerability, trust, all those conversations, maybe think about some of that when you think about why we be quiet. Think about some of that. Is trust even a real thing? Miles Batchelor said, not currently committed, but I would need to see enough to build. The rest would hopefully work itself out. How much sharing you doing, Miles? You said you up in your 50s, Miles. How much sharing? How deep into the bag of history are you going with a woman in order for you to feel close to her and for her to feel close to you, if you don't mind me asking? We want to hear from the wisdom in the chat, for sure. Talk
Classic.
to me. How far in the bag of history you going to allow her to feel like she really know you? You got 5 decades in the game. So like you going all the way back to telling her about shit when you was 20, or like, what miscellaneous things are you just leaving out or adding in the conversations so you could feel more connected and whatnot? You know what I mean? So I'm interested to hear your psychoanalysis on this too. Do you think it's in men's best interest to be wholeheartedly opening up to their significant others? I'm asking Souls of Thought specifically because he's in the psychology field.
Classic.
Do you think it's in their best interest? Do you think in more cases than not, they get good returns on opening up like that? Being that vulnerable? Quick and easy. He said never. Never is what
Classic.
he said. It's one of those things, again, it don't sound good to say out loud. It's one of those things where it don't sound good to say out loud, but it's just true. Think about the example I just gave y'all about nature's design. God would not design it for you to rest everything that's supposed to be safe and secure in the hands of the most volatile person in the situation. It doesn't make sense. Y'all understand how it go: God, man, woman, children. That's the order. God, man, woman, children. Everybody should communicate up. Kids communicate to mom, mom communicate to man, man communicate to God. To God.
Classic.
Souls of Thought said, I feel that's why we have experts. Facts.
Classic.
Facts. But beautiful code language conversation today. Beautiful code language conversation. I felt like this would be one that tied in the whole live stream today. You know what I mean? And connect all the dots in regards to why certain things pan out the way they pan out. You got too many people trying to dibble and dabble. And I think that some element and some level of gender roles is a good thing. Some level of understanding of some type of gender roles is a good thing. I think it's reasonable. If you want to make it look a little unconventional from how it was traditionally, that's cool. Adjust with the times, but some degree of gender roles, I think, makes sense for efficiency in a relationship. Miles said, anything I reveal would need to be relative to the conversation. For instance, why I hardly drink. Okay.
Classic.
Okay. So he's saying anytime he open up and be vulnerable, it would have to be pertinent, it had to be relevant to something that we actually discussing in real time. So it's like, if it don't come up, it don't come up. I get that though. Yeah, I would even dare to say shit. Some shit I don't even want to know. I'm gonna be real. You could definitely overshare with me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how I get, body count and shit like that. You could definitely overshare with me. Don't get to telling me about oh, this one time when you had this whole phase. Don't get to this shooting yourself in the foot with an AR.
Classic.
What? He said, hopefully the women you choose, you value and respect, and vice versa. I also do believe that man shit is man shit. Some things I'm not meant to understand. I, as a woman, understand my role. You understand me? Shout out to Key in the chat. Yeah, man. Yeah. I think we got to get back to that. And like I always say, like, that's why I'm glad, like, some of the women from the Queen Codes panel are launching their own channels now and going to be doing their own content. And hopefully not just panels either, but actual full-fledged content creation, because The women who have decided to conduct and carry themselves in a certain capacity that is conducive to that of the young girls growing up, looking up to and becoming good members of society in the future, and not some old disgraceful shit, those women gotta be louder.
Classic.
They gotta be louder. It can't just be River TV, Danica Dope discussions. It need to be, an infinite amount of y'all. We have no problem finding a podcast where, men are talking about whatever. We have no issue finding a podcast where women are giving women horrific advice. But as far as like, hey, like the Keisha Kayor interview, for example, hey, I'm a good ass woman at the highest level. This is all the shit I do for my man, and I'm happy about it and fulfilled with doing so. You know what I'm saying? She popping out and she making noise about that shit. Like, good women, be loud.
Classic.
But yeah, man, that's the code language on vulnerability, or on vulnerable. If you like what you just saw, support the channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and jump in the comments. Talk to me so we could crack these codes. If you want to support the channel monetarily, go to my website and cop some merch, www.theclassiccodes.com. Or you can shoot me a Cash App. Either way, stick to the codes.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Hardened my heart and now hardened the flow.